Hello, and welcome to another update video on Bitcoin. I am here on the larger time frame, actually here the daily chart. And just to show you before we dive into the nanostructures, Bitcoin starts to look more and more toppy up there, obviously, but we haven't broken below any significant swing low. We have not broken below the August low yet, even though it seems likely we might do. I have no evidence that the correction that started after an all-time high was struck, that this correction is over. So short term, the market remains under pressure. I'm going to show you on the smaller time frame how that is actually looking like, what it means for structure. Bigger picture wise, there is one larger support zone here that we are currently watching on the daily time frame. It is between $101,569 and $112,954. I mean, as long as this is holding, technically speaking, this could be a wave 4 correction. If we get 5 waves down, while that is not full confirmation for a bear market, it is our first solid confirmation that a bear market might have started. It's not like, it's guaranteed or anything. And, confirmation levels are dynamic, and they, the more confirmation we get, the more clarity we have. But the first real confirmation that a bear market has started, that a major price top has formed, and remember, we are probably close to a top. That doesn't mean we have topped yet, but it means we are close to a top. I have to say as it is, right? I have to tell people how it is. Structurally, we could have formed the top already. Yeah, we could have formed the top with the last swing high here. That all-time high might be the bull market top. I'm not saying it is. I don't see the evidence for it yet. I'm just saying the price starts to look a bit toppy, okay? And it's just too early to confirm it. That pullback is not significant enough to confirm that, okay? We would need to see a 5-wave move down and ideally even a break below support at 101,569 to confirm that. Someone asked me yesterday, what if we get 5 waves down and we're in support? Well, yeah, I mean, that might just be, look, if we get this 5 waves down, it will depend a little bit on how deep we go into support. If this is just the A wave of the wave 4, then we can get a rally in wave B and get a C wave, and we can still hold support and then go up. And it might just be that the wave 4 is here. This was a B wave and this was a C wave. The problem is, the deeper the A wave goes, the more probable it is that any C wave will break support. Okay, that is what it's all about. So any break of support and a 5-wave move down would confirm together that we are likely in a bear market. At least that would then become the thesis. Nothing is set in stone, so also this can of course be invalidated at some point. Please always remember that breaks of support levels, we treat them as signals. They give us clarity. They are not necessarily a bad thing. Well, they can be depending on how you're positioned. But actually, from an Elliott Wave point of view, from a market analysis and structural point of view, a break of levels is always a good thing because it gives us a signal, okay? We want to have signals. Without, for example, a break of support, I don't have clarity, right? That's very important. Okay, it's not a bad thing if support breaks. You should see it as a signal. It's part of the method. It tells us something, all right? Now, whether you like what you see there or not, that's a different question. That depends on how you're positioned, how much risk your portfolio carries. But overall, a break of support from an analysis point of view is only a signal. It tells us that, yeah, market is giving us further weakness. The structure to the upside is likely not materializing like that. And, well, there is usually a structure that also points to the downside. And then the analysis tells us what's the pivot between the two. In this case, best I can tell, at the moment, it's 101,569. But, of course, we will continue to adjust the chart as we get new data. If new data comes in that, makes me adjust the analysis, then, of course, I will do that. That's just part of it. It's important to understand at the moment that let's say the pullback here, is corrective in nature. It is a 3-wave move down. And so with only a 3-wave move down and with us, only having reached support just now, there is no major sign that a major top is in. Just, of course, being cautious because the move to the upside can be classed technically complete from a structural point of view, right? Even now on the micro level. Even though I think at this point, another high would still be ideal. still watching for it, but let's say probabilities for further upside reduce as we get closer and closer to fulfilling here wave structures, even on the nano level. There's nothing wrong with calling this a 5-wave move up and then calling it a major top. I mean, it's done what it needs to do. Another push to 130K would just be ideal, but it's technically not needed. Okay, let's go and take a look at the shorter time frame. So again, I still prefer, I want to make that very clear, I still prefer another high, but the risk is just elevated at this point. Especially, it's always the same thing, especially when you find everybody saying it can only go up, and it can only go up, it can only go up, it can only go up. There's something most of you know, but when, especially for people new in the space, that's very important to hear. It's always been the same. Like, we've all been there. Most people who watch this channel have been there 2021. That would just like people expected like craziest prices, and everybody was saying like it can only go up, it can only go up, it can only go up, right? But the structure pointed already to the downside when we were at like 55K, right? So it took some discipline to remain bearish throughout this entire decline into the bear market, but people eventually realized, and that's also what made MCO thrive in the bear market. People realized that structure is always telling the truth, right? Now, structure can change, but it's important to be aligned with what the market is doing right now. At the moment, kind of, I think we're still in a bullish mode, and pullbacks look rather corrective. And what I'm tracking here on the smaller time frame is this WXY structure to the downside. That hasn't changed since yesterday. I still see it as a corrective move down. Any bounce from here could be classed as a B-wave bounce, and the first area of resistance to watch is between 116,937 and $121,657, and then from there we might get a C-wave down. So we have an A, B, C structure to the downside, and then once we get some buying momentum in, this could be the start of the 5th wave. Can we break out higher directly? Yes, I just don't have any evidence for that. Need to see more of the structure of the next bounce. I don't even have any evidence that at least that even a local low has formed. I mean, I'm cautiously watching for higher prices from here because this has the potential to be a local low. But honestly, volume to the upside is weak, and further downside cannot be ruled out, right? This is not yet clearly the start of wave B. So bottom line is we're still caught in a correction anyway. Pressure remains downward, but this area around 112 to 113K here, we've got this red line, these previous swing lows. It can act as short-term support for now. Okay, I'm watching if the bulls show up here, and I would not see a break above $115,950 as next evidence that a recovery is unfolding. For now, this is too weak. Volume is weak. We have a first break above the trend line, but it's not really coming with any volume, right? So yeah, not much changed here on the micro level, but I keep you updated. Hope you liked the update. If you did, please hit the like button, leave a comment, and subscribe. And if you really like the content, then please check out the channel membership. Thank you very much. Bye-bye. Thanks so much for watching the videos on this YouTube channel. If you've been thinking about joining MCO as a member, now might be a great time. You can use the link in the video description and apply the discount code right below it. You will get 50% off your first month of our gold membership, and you can explore everything we offer. It's the easiest way to test the membership, see if it's a good fit for you, and get a feel for the community, join the conversation, and I'm looking forward to meeting you in our member area.